Today we're going to be doing a satin floppy cheer bow. This is a tutorial I've done in gross grain ribbon. We love them so much that we needed something for gold. And unfortunately, as many of you guys know who have gold in your colors, gold gross grain is not really pretty. It's kind of either brown looking or bottom line it's yellow. So we wanted to do something a little bit different. We went with a satin yellow. It was actually brought up by another coach in one of the groups I'm on Facebook that they were like, oh, try satin. I was like, done. I did it in just a wig kind of hair to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like in the hair. Some people say, oh, that's old school. Some people say, oh my gosh, I love that collegiate look. Whatever that happens to be for you, if you have a team that can't just tie a ribbon and call it done, this is a great option. Honestly, my team could never tie a ribbon and call it done. It would make me crazy. They would not be the same. So this is a great, quick, fast, very inexpensive way to do satin ribbons that gives it a completely different look than the traditional gross grain. They are satin, so they do crease. You have to make sure they take a little bit better care of them than they do your traditional gross grains that are like, I swear that stuff could be ran over by a Mack truck and it would be totally fine. However, they do give you a really nice shimmer feel, which makes it feel more gold than just yellow. The color we're using today is called Butter. It is a color from Paper Mart. Paper Mart's where I get my double-sided satin ribbon. I love it because it is the same on both sides. That makes my heart really happy because the roots are real and I am very blonde, and if I don't have it simple, I will make mistakes. So it is a double-sided. Butter is the color. We ordered several different colors. This was by far the one that my team liked the most. This is Sizer Easy Press Glitter White Vinyl is what I've done on that. I did this on my Cricut. Of course, do the mirror, the whole thing with heat press. I'm going to talk briefly, even though this is not a heat press video, I'm going to briefly talk about how to make this work on satin because it's not as actually, gross grain, it goes no problem. Satin, it's a little bit more tricky. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips there as soon as I'm done with my supply list. You need a 7x10 bow template. If you're like, dude, I don't need a bow template, I've got this. That's awesome. I do. For me, in order for the loops on each side to stay the same, I have to have this. So I use it every single time. It's literally made out of an old box. These are 8-inch. You do not need them this long. This happens to be what I have. Of the zip ties is what I use in my ribbon centers. You can do the thinner ones. I actually kind of prefer the thinner ones, but for the satin, I ended up using a little thicker ones. It gave the middle a little bit more stability, so they weren't quite as wishy-washy feeling. Just under 2 inches of the flocked gold ribbon. This, I believe I got either on clearance at like Ribbon Retreat, or I got it at Walmart. I know I've seen it at Walmart. It does have a little fleck to it. You can use any of these. This is 5/8 inch ribbon. I just like it because it adds a little bit more shine to the middle. I also like it because of the type of ribbon it is. I don't have to do a bow center. I don't have to tie the center. I just literally wrap it. So then your center looks like this, which I really like because it's gold and shiny and less work on my part, which I'm all over. Of course, you're going to need your glue gun and you're going to need something to burn your ends, whether that be with satin, it's super important, whether that be a burner. Mine is actually just a soldering iron I get at Harbor Freight. They're like $6, and that's what I've always used for the ends of mine. You can finish your ends however you want to. They can be straight, they can be sideways, they can be the traditional bow point, whatever your little heart desires. And then of course you're going to need ponios. I do 2 ponios per each bow. I find it gives it a little bit more stability and they stand up a little bit better as far as in the hair. I'm coming back to my model here. In the hair so it stays put and it doesn't turn at all. I find that 2 ponios kind of help it do what I want it to do. Okay, so that's essentially all you need for your list. Now I'm going to talk briefly about the HTV vinyl. If you are not going to do heat press vinyl, rock and roll. You can fast forward through this part or ignore it or whatever. Like I said, I did this on my Cricut, cut it out, figured out where I wanted it on the ribbon. I went ahead and just did several ribbons at the same time. When I read on the Sizer website about going onto satin, one of the things they said was you have to use a heat press. You cannot pull this off with an iron. I don't know about the Cricut Easy Presses. I've never used one. I went straight to an actual clunk down heat press that we got on Amazon. I wasn't about to go anywhere than just this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put this on your heat press machine. I do 2 layers of the Teflon sheets. This is one that came, it's my yucky one. I do it first, and then I do another big sheet over top. I've gotten other Teflon sheets that I've added to my stuff, and so I have big sheets now. I just put that over top of my heat press with this on it as well, so it kind of gives it a second layer. I press it for 20 seconds. I pull it off. I pull off the backing on my ribbon, on my heat press piece, the clear backing. Then I get all those pulled off, put my both sheets back down again, clamp it down for another about 15 seconds. This has kept it from scorching. I haven't had any of these that have scorched. That is a huge thing because they do scorch really, really, really easily. So be very gentle with them, but you want to make sure it's down because if you're going to be handing them out to cheerleaders, you got to make sure they stay. So then the next thing is literally the basic build of doing your bow. When you do your bow, you want to simply, oh, the other little trick I do, which is on the other video as well, I take all my ribbons once I have them all heat pressed and I press them on my heat press machine in half. So I have a half a line like that. One of the things that I do is I put them on my board with the line down. So it's on one of the lines. So then when I pull it back up, I know that I've got it even and I don't have to eyeball that at all. The other thing I do is I put it so that the label or my logo, whatever you're doing on it, is down. The name, some people do initials on their, I have 35 cheerleaders. I'm not writing initials on all their bows. So they get the logo and that's what they get and they don't throw a fit. So then you zip tie the center. I'm going to pull this up in just a second so you can kind of get an idea of exactly what I'm doing. Don't forget to put your pony toes in because I just almost did. And this is even more detailed on the one that I did with grass grain. It's the exact same technique. I'm just trying to make this one be a little bit faster of a video for you guys. And once you've got it about halfway through, adjust everything the way you want it. Make sure your ribbons are down straight the way you want them before you slide it off. Okay. And what I do is I make sure that the logo piece is facing down so that way when I flip it off just like this, my ribbon is got the logo right there and it looks all nice and pretty and smooth and no issues whatsoever. Zip tie it really tight like that, trim that piece off, finish it with the gold, finish the edges, and you're done. It's literally that easy. These should take you no time at all, and I hope that's a little bit helpful. Double-sided ribbon can be done. The satin is beautiful. It is really nice to work with. It does wrinkle, so just keep that in mind, and hopefully that's helpful for you guys in the future.